Hello gamers, this is Sai, and welcome back to Which Way Games. Now, what's another great sound within the world of gaming? And with that being said, let's get on with the video. When it comes to video game developers, there are a few that need no introduction. Some of these developers have created amazing worlds, legendary heroes, and gaming franchises that have been around for several decades. A few gaming developers that come to mind is id Software, Nintendo, and of course Sega. But we can't forget the likes of Capcom, that had humble beginnings in the arcade, which I did make a video on, which is definitely one to check out.
Really?
However, there is one gaming developer that helped shape the world of gaming and is also known for the greatest code of all time.
Awesome.
This of course would be Konami, but to appreciate this legendary developer and some of the games that they released, it's time to take a trip back to the past. Now very much like Capcom, Konami began life as a manufacturer of arcade machines before dipping their toes into the mysterious world of gaming. This digital realm of endless possibilities held many secrets, which of course Konami were keen to unlock. Konami released a handful of games such as Missile X and Asher Invader. However, in 1981, when the highly addictive Frogger was released, Konami soon found their feet within the world of gaming. From here, Konami would release the classic hit Scramble, a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up set in space that would go on to pave the way forward for the now infamous Gradius. Gradius was known for its difficulty and addictive gameplay, and when it made that transition from the arcade to the NES, it was one of the first games to use the powerful Konami code.
Phenomenal cosmic power!
Such was the popularity of the Konami code that has appeared in multiple games, including the legendary Contra. Contra is infamous within the realm of video games, but when Contra was released on Nintendo's Great Box of Fun, the Konami code would sometimes be needed in order to finish the highly difficult game. From its success, Contra would span several sequels, and one game within the franchise that will definitely give your thumbs a bit of a workout would be Contra 3: The Alien Wars.
Nice.
Eventually, Konami soon began to create games from different genres of gaming, while still retaining their arcade roots. Some of these genres were platformers, as well as games set within the worlds of folklore and mythology. One gaming series that took inspiration from the world of horror was the Castlevania series, that had Simon Belmont battling the forces of evil, as well as the Prince of Darkness himself. It seemed that Konami had a game that suited every gamer's need, but when Metal Gear was released, it introduced a whole new style of gameplay. Metal Gear is considered by many to be the game that popularised the stealth genre. Gamers would control Foxhound Agent Solid Snake on an adventure where he would face many challenges as well as twists and turns along the way. Now, this style of gameplay had a way of drawing gamers in, especially with its compelling story, and from this point, the Metal Gear franchise became a staple of gaming for Konami.
Wow.
As the 90s progressed, Konami continued to release some amazing games. It seemed that the 16-bit era was the golden age of gaming, especially for Konami, who would dabble with other gaming franchises as well as licensed games. Some of these licensed games were truly popular with gamers, both in the arcade and at home, which of course Konami took full advantage of. Sadly though, there was no home port of the X-Men arcade game at the time, but it did eventually grace gaming systems about 18 years later.
Welcome to die.
Konami, as well as other developers, knew that gaming was evolving into something more than just a means to pass the time. And while gamers still love the simplicity of other gaming genres, there was a popularity surrounding games that focus on story-driven adventures. Taking this on board, Konami would bring back a classic gaming series that saw the return of Solid Snake. With an adventure of espionage on the Shadow Moses facility, Metal Gear Solid was an instant hit, taking the world by storm and propelling the Metal Gear franchise to superstardom. Gamers once again took on the role of Solid Snake, but this time in a 3D stealth action adventure from the mind of Hideo Kojima. Now, Solid Snake is one of the many characters within the world of gaming that's loved by fans all over the world, and has a compelling timeline that I'll come back to in the future. It seemed that Konami's Midas touch within gaming showed no signs of slowing down. With hit after hit, Konami were riding high, and this ride among the stars continued, especially with the classic Dance Dance Revolution gaming series. Now, this is one gaming series that Konami adores, and even though some gamers have the grace of the hippo on ice, it doesn't stop them from busting a move. Now, with most gaming developers, the horror genre is always a point of interest, and while Capcom focused on flesh-eating zombies and genetically engineered dinosaurs, Konami would focus on psychological horror and the macabre. Now, most of the survival horror games of the past had muscle-bound heroes with combat experience, but when it came to Silent Hill, gamers would play as Harry Mason, just a normal man with no special abilities. Konami knew that this everyman persona would prove to be popular with gamers, who would identify and imprint themselves on the main character. As time progressed, more and more games appeared from the masterminds of Konami, but eventually another classic game appeared that involved gigantic robots and laser swords. This of course was Zone of the Enders, that had gamers controlling large orbital frames jam-packed with weaponry that could decimate the opposition as well as the environment.
Shut up and take my money!
Overall, Konami games have a certain magic to them that allow gamers to live out multiple lives within many different genres of gaming. Even though Konami don't have much of a presence within the world of gaming anymore, perhaps one day they'll make a return with a whole new host of games to tantalise gamers, or maybe return to some of their successful franchises. Either way, gamers old and new can experience some of the true classics from Konami. Anyway, come back next time where Nintendo and Sega go head to head in the first of my Versus series. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next game.